Good morning, everybody. Where I live, it's sort of a miserable day outside my window. It's a lot of snow, not very nice. And yet I am with today a real pal of mine for many years, Keegan Gerhard, who owns DBar Restaurant. And I don't know, I think it's about 5 minutes from my house. Keegan? Why does it look
Hello.
nice on your screen?
Well, over in Stapleton Central Park, it's another sunny day in Colorado.
Uh-huh. Right. And
I,
one,
as fate would have it, I am in Las Vegas.
yes, I heard that. So you were an overnighter in Vegas?
We had an opportunity to go to the Sphere and see you two last night. So, you don't. I don't know. I can't say no to things like that if it's possible.
Well, I guess the whole thing, the situation there is unbelievable.
It's it's beyond. I don't have the words to describe it quite yet. I mean, yes, it's perfect visually, it seems, and audio wise, but your mind is just like, it's crazy. And I love that band. So I don't I don't have the connections that Mr. Pie Man has, apparently.
He's been, Mr. Pie Man, Mr. Hinman's been going there for years. I mean, that's his life.
Yep, I think Bono recognizes him probably. So
He does. He calls him the man in the black hat.
we were just like you say, we were just happy to be there. So it
Good
was
for you.
cool.
Well,
And
as
it was
long
and I
as you
didn't
come
make
back,
oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I just said, as long as you come back to me.
Yeah, I'm back today, and I didn't think we'd pull it off with what a wacky holiday week in the food and beverage industry, wasn't it? Like
Awful.
Super Bowl Sunday, which ruined Valentine's weekend, and then Mardi Gras, and then Valentine's on a Wednesday. We didn't know what to do with ourselves.
It,
But oh, it's just crazy. But we're fortunate. Denver really, really came out, and I even saw on the in the news that for some reason some expert said that people were really going to celebrate Valentine's this year, and I'm like, that's weird. So we thought, why not open on Tuesday night to let people know you can beat the rush, and we did a poll on Instagram, and it was like 97% open up, 3% nah. So we did it. So we made it through another Valentine somehow, Gabby.
well, and did people show up?
Yeah. We were booked both nights and last night too. And so super grateful. People have been very gracious to come and have dinner and the whole 9 yards with us.
Well, you're pretty darn special. And
We,
his wife Bailey, and your staff is great. The food is divine. The prices are not outrageous. And today, every restaurant is struggling so with all this nonsense going on that when you
yeah.
find a gem, and I think D-Bar's a gem personally.
Wow. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. I'll tell you what, you and I have known each other forever, I feel like.
We
and
have,
and a lot of people know that you're so much to do with us even ever coming to Denver in the first place. And
well, that's
so
one of the
but
better things that I have handed.
but the landscape has changed. You and I didn't discuss necessarily talking about it, but um I really want to. I mean, we can find some time in a course today to talk about some fun projects DBar's got coming. But honestly, the cost of doing business is,
Talk about.
yeah, it's like nothing I've ever seen. So if that's something you're interested in chatting about, we can do that too.
We'll do that just for a little bit. Because I have seen like 4 restaurant owners this week for some reason, not on purpose. And everyone is telling the story that we haven't discussed it, but it's the same story. So tell us.
I mean, it's very. I'm hesitant to want to talk about it on a public platform because, the truth is life is hard for everyone.
Right.
And, I don't want to be a whiner, but like my industry so hard, but for some reason, Well, there's a lot of real obvious financial reasons. And I guess when you get to the nitty gritty, it's always about, can you make it financially, or is it financially worth it? Or is it emotionally worth it? I think Bailey and I are, always been 100% committed on the emotional part. We just think it's our calling. But financially, man, it's one of the most expensive places in the country to pay labor to work, which on the
which
other
is
hand is great.
outrageous.
It's great for our team, right? You can be a server, not like the East Coast with our East Coast friends who are still only paying below $10 for tipped employees. We're paying 18,
Right,
basically. So
right.
that's hard. And ingredient cost is obscene is the only way I know to use it. And nobody wants to hear anybody say supply chain issues anymore, because it makes us want to all roll our eyes. But we look like knuckleheads with our team when we have to go to Sam's Club or Walmart or Restaurant Depot to get eggs and butter because our suppliers don't have it. And when they do, it's twice as much as everyone else. That's hard, you know? So
And
it's interesting to try to navigate that. Because I think it's a real simple formula. I was always told. You and I haven't had restaurant finance chats before, but I was always told the real simple formula: if your labor and your occupancy costs and your cost of goods sold, those three things total more than 75%, it's not possible to run a business. So if you're talking about labor all in, even just hourly, is already over like around 40%, and that your food cost is already what a good food cost these days is 29 or 30, that's really good.
yeah, I
Come
know.
on, I'm not a mathematician, but that's 70%. You get 5% for being not failing, and then you'll have a little bit to survive. So it's tough. We put in the hardest decision we've ever made this year, actually, which is we put a service charge so that tip is included. And
I think
it's
that's,
you told me you like it, right?
I told you that. It's easier, it's great,
Yeah.
it's better for you, and the customer knows, and you have it printed every place. It isn't a secret. That
Well, I think that's the key, right? I think when you try to put a tough message in, even if it's not tough, even if it's a good message, I was thinking about this, talking with the team about what if we had a secret that we gave everybody $100 at the end of the meal. If we didn't post it enough places, would they be mad that they didn't get their $100 because they didn't know? You know,
yes, yes,
and I think they would be. So
I agree.
I would advertise that just like I would advertise the fact that we call. I mean, we didn't invent this, as you well know. We just think the people that we look at that are successful operators have decided to do a service charge, and they call it no tipping, or a tip included model, right? And so of course, your tips included. You don't need to tip if you feel like you want to tip. On top of that, that goes directly to the server. That's not shared with anybody because they're doing the work with your table. They're making the connection, right? So we do that a little bit different. Some people still share that. But it's the only thing we've ever done, besides making a crazy mistake or doing something foolish,
Well, you
where
have,
people would say, service charge, I'm never coming back. And that really hurts your feelings. You're like you think, oh my gosh, am I doing the wrong thing if I ruin this? But I don't know how
I
to
don't
make it fair for the people in the restaurant, guests or employees, if you don't do it, because
I
you know.
much prefer what you are doing. When I looked down and it said, believe it or not, on the menu, and it was like an extra 9% to pay health insurance for a cook.
Mhm.
And I come on, put it on the bill, make it on the service charge, and let it go at that. I don't
I mean,
mind. I respect what they do, but just put it all in so I don't have to read all those things.
what's interesting is that the restaurant industry gets singled out because we are a culture of service charges. I I went through the silliest circus for example, to get my tickets to U2 in Vegas with 17 pieces of technology and apps and all this stuff. And then they charge you a $21 convenience fee.
You do at the movies here too.
everywhere, right? Everywhere. When my food is delivered, I pay a fuel surcharge. Gas isn't $5 a gallon anymore.
Now, if you
So
go to a movie, there's a service fee now.
right. So, but here's the thing: for me as a cook and a business owner, can I look my team in the face every day? And I'll be the first to say, if I had to do it all over again, go back 15 years when you were like 25, and I was in my
And
yeah, I was still a teenager.
you,
Um, yeah, if I went back, I would started tip sharing the whole team from the get-go. But
yeah,
we didn't do that. We paid the cooks what cooks were making, and the team got tips, and it became very unfair, and there was huge disparity. And that's the part that I wish people knew more about, because all what their answer is, why don't you just pay your team more? And I'm like, well,
you pay them a fortune. So,
here's
yeah,
the thing. Because you tip the front of the house only, you're paying my team more
yeah.
than I'm paying. And so, you come on, you know how it is. Valentine's Day is a good example. Restaurant week's about to come up, right?
All right,
So,
now tell me about restaurant. Go ahead.
well, yeah, that'd be a good segue. That'll be my last thing about service charge. You're
No, I
busy.
agree.
You're
I
busy
agree.
every night for 7 nights.
Oh, wait, one question.
Yeah,
With restaurant week, you still have
yeah.
the service charge.
We still have what?
You still put the service charge on. You don't do that.
Yeah, we will. No, we're not going to do anything different.
Okay.
Because here's why. Because if it's really crazy busy, which restaurant week, thankfully for us, it's always the biggest week of the year for us. And we can talk about it's because people find out we have food, not just dessert. But we'll get back to that. But if a cook is working his brains out harder every day for 7 days, he doesn't get paid more if there's not the service charge or tipping pool in place.
Good.
But if there is, then they all share it. So it's not the situation where someone's going home with $95 and someone's going home with $300.
Okay.
And I can't even have the conversation about who works harder. They all work hard. They all do their best. They all put it on the line. So we were trying to make it more fair.
Good for you. All right. Now, before we do run out of time, I think everything you've said is vital and much more important for people to know. Tell me, first of all, DBar is not just dessert.
It's not just dessert. When people come in and say, what does the D in DBar stand for? Whatever they say that starts with a D, I just say yes. Oh, sure. Yeah. It's for Denver. It's delicious. It's dinner. Our silly little pastry cook brains, we thought, when you go to dinner, what happens? And we thought, you have drinks, dining, dessert, all D's. So you can have, huh?
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes a little too much sense, maybe. So here's what we did, because we're knuckleheads. We're cooks, not marketing people. We called ourselves DBar Desserts for the first 7 years. And as you know, back in those days, when we were going to have a cute little dessert bar, we realized real quick we're opening and closing every day, and the only food was Qdoba across the street, and we didn't want to eat that 7 days a week. So we're like, what food will we eat? And that's why our menu, our dinner menu's got that section, things we like to eat, because we were selfish. We're like, we're going to have these things on a menu so that if we need to eat, we can eat. And we got so lucky that it seems like people like a lot of the food we like too.
And they still do. Your food isn't 10,000 sauces, fancy. It's great food. Best burger in there, by far. And
you know what? We didn't want to win anything near best burger. You remember when Shake Shack came to town and everyone was confident they were going to win best burger, and I think I don't know if it was Westford or 5280, but somebody did best burger and we were on the first spot, and I was like, oh no.
Danny doesn't care.
Danny doesn't care, no.
Danny.
And Danny doesn't care about first. He just cares about being good at what he does. That's what, but winning the burger means now your cooks want to make fancy things, but they're making a lot of burgers. It's just like in pastry. We have all these talented kids. They love what they do. They're good at what they do. And the best-selling thing, no matter what they do, is the cake and shake.
Huh.
And they're all way too fancy for making chocolate cake, So, and I'm like, hey, listen, But guess what? Make something for me that sells better than that, and we'll be in good shape.
You keep cake and shake on forever, and please don't ever take away my chocolate chip cookies.
No, ma'am. Easy, easy peasy.
Right.
I'll even give you the recipe.
That's great. I don't want to make them.
I know.
I
Do you,
just,
Pat, do you have a kitchen in your place? I don't think you do.
I do now. Yeah, it's there. Occasionally. Well, I have to say, stuff I buy at DBar or get to eat at DBar, I should say. I bring home, and I know you won't believe. My favorite thing is your pizza salad sandwich.
Me too.
Is just incredible. And if you bring that home, someday I'm just going to buy an extra one. They freeze and heat up like the best dinner you have ever had.
Do they really?
Yes, honest to God.
That's crazy. I've never done that.
Well, for one whose oven doesn't work real
well. Yeah, you don't. For a person who doesn't have a kitchen, you're able to pull that off pretty good.
Damn right.
Did I ever tell you why we even put that on the menu?
No, and what did I do to cause it?
You know, pastry chefs, so often there's no food that's not sweet
right, well,
in your kitchen, right? And when we worked at hotels, we would make the pizza dough for the room service or whatever. So I would just put dough in, I'd put cheese and whatever, like whatever sauce there was, I would sneak into room service, steal salad, put it on there, fold it in half, and eat it like a sandwich because it just didn't have time to eat. And I'm like, we thought, well, I don't know if anybody will eat it, but we're gonna have it on the menu so we can eat. And I like to add fried chicken and avocado to it. It's already ginormous, so I don't know if people need to add anything, but so good though.
No, it's great. And you have everything from risotto to steak frites.
We do.
Sliders. I mean, your Brussels sprouts, everything there is delicious.
We didn't have words to make a great description because people always go, what kind of restaurant is it? Everybody wants to put label on things, what kind of food is it? And 5280, way back when, you probably remember, they said upscale American comfort food. And I don't know where the upscale comes from, but I think that's what it is. Yeah.
It is upscale. I mean,
yeah,
it's not like I made it. It's really bad.
And we're not wearing overalls in there, but it's not fancy. So, but hopefully delicious. That's what I want the D to stand for across the board. It doesn't matter. Like we're bringing cheese curds back because people lost their mind when we took cheese curds off. We really have been listening to what people missed. We just put short rib nachos back on because people missed them. And so, we're paying attention to some of that, but delicious appetizers, delicious food, delicious desserts. That's the goal. And we always used Restaurant Week, which is honestly around the corner.
It's March 1st to March 10th.
Yeah, first week of March is we always do the best-selling items on our menu, plus a new app, a new entree, a new dessert, like some things we're about to put on the new menu so we can kind of see how it goes. So it's a fun little way to get a sneak peek into what's coming.
I agree. And you have a really lovely wine list and drink list, which also makes it nice. And of course, there's desserts.
Well, I'm not really one to, I could be better at brown nosing and stuff like that. But I have to say, in the city of Denver, I'm so impressed with the organization, the effort behind Restaurant Week, the organization, Justin at Visit Denver, just all in behind Restaurant Week to make it successful for Denver restaurants. And this year in particular, in my memory of all the years past, it just, wine partnerships, local liquor partnerships, just really trying to make it special for people so people can go out and find new ways and new things to love about Denver. And I just love that idea.
I agree. And before we run out of time, but I did see you had 4 courses instead of 3 on your menu.
We have, that's right, we do. We have 4 printed. We always do a little extras. And we do an amuse also, so we don't count that one. And we usually give a little, well, you and I have got a background of New Orleans, so they call it a lagniappe, a little something extra to take home, right? So we always give a little goodie to take home, but then we do an appetizer, entree, pre-dessert, dessert, and we even give you a little amuse up front. So I feel like it's the time to pull out all the stops and show people what you can do. They should be having fun. I think it's stressful for some people go to work during restaurant week, like they're eating one or two places a night every night. So I know real well that a lot of people are eating food, not dessert, for the very first time at DBar, and it's over in that whole week. It's over 6,000 first-time diners. So
I'm sure.
if you're not ready for restaurant week, then you're not ready.
Right. I go to DBar once a week or once every 10 days.
I was going to say once a day.
Yeah, I would. And
Once a week.
I don't even get half.
No, you don't.
So it is a restaurant, and Keegan's fabulous, his wife Bailey, she's brilliant. And
she is.
If you ever need a cake decorated, a special cake, nobody does it like you do. Everything there. And at night.
Cakes are listen, and what's funny, because of all the TV for all those years, people think I do all the cakes.
Yeah.
And really the cakes are Bailey. Bailey does, and if we never have the bandwidth to post all the cakes that we do, but if you're interested, you should follow Chef Lisa Bailey and see the cakes she posts. She posts only probably half. Even just the cakes she does for Brent's place are so amazing and so fun. So, we stumbled upon, because of drinks, dining, dessert, and cakes, a way to connect with people, I think, because, look back to the little space. People were on their first date. They got engaged maybe at DBar. We did their wedding cake. They have kids now. We do their kids' cakes. It's such a cool, humbling, just feel so honored to be a part of people's families like that. It's so cool.
I agree. It's incredible. And just a minute, 19 years ago, 14 years ago. Yeah, and we have to end this. The pig cake you made me, I have a picture on my cell phone. I showed it to 2 people last night because the whole world remembers the pig cake.
That is just the example of the artistry of Bailey. The centered pig cake is so cute, and pigs aren't always cute. And all the little pig butt cupcakes. Oh. I tell people I always tell people I made Gabby's sweet 16 birthday cake all the time.
Oh,
God. A bunch of pigs' butts.
It's still the best thing ever. Okay, details of hours, days, address, how to get to DBar.
Well, here we are at the end of February. So we're closed on Monday, Tuesday right now, but we're going to change that as we usually do when the time changes and we go to spring forward. We'll be open, and we're going to be open for Monday, Tuesday for dinners after restaurant week.
Okay.
And then the retail is open for grab and go breakfast and such in the morning at 8 a.m. at Uptown, open at 11:30 for lunch, and then until 9 on weekdays, 10 on the weekends for all the things. And then, as you know, we opened up a little DBar dessert cafe over in Central Park. And then it's the same hours of opening, same days, but we closed over there at 6 o'clock. However, the city of Denver just granted us a liquor license there, so you and I can keep having our espresso martinis in the afternoon or whatever.
Sure,
we don't drink really, but that's whatever we do.
Okay,
so we're gonna have bubbles and stuff.
Is it dbardenver.com?
dbardenver.com is the website, and you can go there, see menus for both places. You can order online or order ahead for both places at dbardenver.com. And then we finally got our timeline for our project to the airport in Terminal A and the international terminal. Looks like they're going to start construction about April, and they've set an opening date for August 30th. Those things are always a movable date, but it sounds like by the 3rd and 4th quarter of this year, you'll be able to get you some DBar at the airport. Oh, DBar at DIA.
Phew. Okay, and everybody, DBar Restaurant is on the corner of 19th and Penn. He didn't
Yep.
tell you this. You can get everything you need there. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. Please like and subscribe to the Gabb, Gabb, on YouTube. It's Gabby Gourmet, Facebook, Instagram. You'll find Keegan there. I know him. I love him. You will adore DBar. And make your reservations if you're going to Restaurant Week or
Please,
going
yes.
to DBar. I love you. Travel
Love
safe.
you too. Thanks so
Everybody
much.
have a great weekend.
Thanks for all the time and support. We love you.
I love you back. Bye-bye.
Bye.